Next to the door.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So that's just a regular part.
And just right before you. And, I'm working on that thing.
Your other life.
He's a grandpa. I need some clothes. I'm gonna get right.
International.
Is everybody ready? We'll call the meeting to order. And could you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Just thank you, Lord, for this evening, just everyone that's gathered here today, just to make our decisions for the county and for the park, and just thank you for giving us wisdom and what we talked about tonight, and give us peace, and so be good night and safe drive. So, yeah.
All the members had a chance to look at the previous meeting minutes. Have a second? Second. Motion has been made and seconded to accept the minutes from the last meeting. All in favor, say aye. Aye. That's everybody. We have the superintendent's report.
All right, so since the last time we talked, it's kind of been a pretty busy time for the park. A couple of things I wanted to go over. We had an electrical pole fall down in Cardinal Field, due to reasons, and a new electrical pole has been put up. Then also, a willow was planted on the island. That was a big project. We worked with Jim Ward and, oh my gosh, Nancy Dietz, amongst many other people. So that was a pretty big undertaking, and we got it out on the island, and everything's good now. We also planted another willow near Goodwin Lake as well. So roads have been paved or had maintenance done on them. I think that they still need to fill the holes that they cut out on the
They were there today.
oh, they were there today.
Yes.
So they might be mostly done with the paving now. But
I seen them out by the garage for those. I seen him working at the garage.
yeah, so good. And then I think they at least got to that portion done. So
Can you elaborate on which portion of the roads have been paved?
yes, sorry, I'm still kind of jumbled up in the head right now. East of the 90 and west of the 90 has been mostly done. They also paved a cap on the sod as well, and I think it looks really nice. But that's, to my knowledge, all that's been done. So
I think they did a lot of the chuck holes on the South 90.
yes,
I think there
yes.
were 11 and a half tons, I believe, of chuck holes filled over there, I think is what the report was. They've done some milling on the really bad portions throughout the main road in the park. They were going to try to get those filled in as much as they could this week. They got it milled last week.
They're still planning on on the South 92, like, you know, the Outlook, parking area that's like overlooking, 3. They're planning on putting some millings in those bigger holes as well down there, because it's been pretty bad for a while, so. But. All right. Posts have been put up at the east end of the sod. And as I stated before, the sod now has a cap on it. Also at the east end of the sod, next to Trail 1, a concrete pad was put down in preparation for the aeration system that's been put out there. The grounds crew helped me set up the electrical, and we ended up not having to use the Fox Electrical that we had talked about last time previously. I did call them and say that if we needed more assistant with electrical, then we would call them back. But the aeration machines have been put on the pad and screwed into the ground. Everything's secured. So we're just kind of, I think we're starting tomorrow is when we're going to actually start doing the project, getting the tubing out there and amongst other stuff. So we had a very good and high turnout for Fall Fest. There were vendors, a raffle, a costume contest where there were multiple winners. While I do think that this Fall Fest was a success, there was definitely room for improvement, and I plan on improving a lot in the future. We had some last minute cancellations amongst when I did reach out to people, they said it was kind of just too short notice to come on board for that. So, but I plan on making it a lot better next year, even though I do think it was a success this time too. So, there was a wasp infestation in the office. We got it taken care of, though. We called exterminators after trying to do it ourselves for a little bit. No new fishing signs have been put in around the pond. No fishing signs. Hopefully people will start to pay attention to those a little bit better. So we had the grounds crew signed a new policy. Sorry, go ahead.
On the signs.
Yeah.
Do we still have no walking on ice signs out, or is that something that we put up for the winter?
That's coming up soon. That will be a winter thing.
Okay, sounds good.
So I also had the grounds crew sign a new policy that clarified basically when they are allowed to purchase and spend on stuff and the steps they need to take before they purchase anything. Just had some issues with that come up recently. They also signed a new policy that clarified that they need to record gas every time they get gas, no matter what it is for. So that goes for me, that goes for everybody in the park. Day of Caring was a huge success. This one was kind of like a surprise on my part, just because it was kind of my first thing that I forayed. We had about 30 children come out, and they said that they all had a blast, and we picked up a ton of trash. So they said that they definitely want to come out next year, and I think with a little bit more planning, we could get even more done. So I'm pretty excited for that.
Just curious, was that, what age group when you start talking about 30 children, is that high school, middle
So
school?
there was there were like 4 that were college age,
Okay,
and then so about my age, and then there were
Middle school.
yeah, middle school and high school. I'd say with more so of middle school. Yeah, a lot of middle school kids. So
just came independently, or was there a group that?
it was a group. It was thrown by Day of Caring. I think they were doing Day of Caring, but it was from a separate group as well. I can't remember what the group was though.
Like I'm not for sure what the group was, but the group that came to the park, they were with the school because they had a teacher with them.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay,
I think
thanks.
that's what he was asking.
They were all very excited to not be in school. So that concludes the superintendent's report.
Secretary Gordon.
Yes, so I will have to email you the collections report because it is not in my pile. There's that. We had to reschedule Bark in the Park and it was a big flop. No one showed. Fridays, we found out are not a good day to have events. But at the time that was the only date available that the shelter house was not being used. So we had kind of went with what we had. Let's see. I don't have really a lot. Fall Fest was on October 18th, and like Kate said, we had a great turnout with the public. We had last minute cancellation, so vendor parts and shelter people were very low numbered. Foot traffic was very heavy throughout the night, so that was amazing. We're starting to plan Christmas in the park. That is going to be on December 13th. And so we've been knocking around ideas. The grounds crew came in and we had a meeting with them about checking all the lights and the inflatables and designating areas of where we're gonna decorate and how we're gonna do it. That was really good. Let's see, starting to coordinate with Cade about events for 2026 and the dates. We need to coordinate with surrounding counties and in the county, surrounding towns to find out what their dates are. So that way we can kind of, if it is on the same day, ours is at a different time. That's an issue that we've had in the past that we're trying to remedy. And this Saturday, if you guys come in, you'll see me in the office. Saturday begins the reservations for 2026. So I'll be in Cade's office. So, so that's my report. Rita has the claims that have been paid. These are the claims from September. In your packets, you have September's and October's because the month hasn't ended yet, so I have not finished up with the claims yet for October. But this so far gives you an idea of what has been paid out. And again, I'm sorry about the collections report, though it will be emailed to you tomorrow.
It's, for the November board meeting, do you think you might be able to give us a comparison of rentals in 2025, rental income in 25 versus rental income in 24? Just hoping we continue to grow.
Yes, I will attempt to have all of that ready for you.
That'd be great. Thank you.
The September expenses were emailed to everybody. Have they had a chance to look at those before the meeting? Need to look at them later. Ex- Yep. Have a chance to look at them. I'll take a motion to approve the claims.
Yeah, I make a motion to approve the claims for the month of September.
Motion is made and seconded to approve the claims submitted for September. All in favor? Aye. All in favor?
Aye.
Can I not be heard? Motion passes. Duke, looks like you.
Yes, Duke Ham with the Henry County Expo building. And the first item, and I had emailed to you, Tom, for the Ready 2.0 grant, Brianna said before you contacted, we need additional support letters for the project, the water project on the west side. Brianna did a draft letter. Do you have that? I've got copies if people need that. And Corey, fill in any blanks that you would like. But I believe, Corey, is it by Monday you would like to have, or when do you need the support letters?
I indicated to Brianna, there wasn't a firm deadline, but I would like to have this wrapped up by the end of October. And I realize that you're just now, you're holding your meeting here,
Yes.
so. If it's an issue, it's okay, but.
If you want to take a minute and any questions, obviously, we'd love to have an approval, or if you want to make any changes in the letter, or I don't know if it can get approved by that recommended deadline of the end of the month, if it's not looked at tonight. This is going to the Indiana EDC, who oversees the Ready projects. Is that accurate?
Corey, would you like to explain to the board what Ready 2 is for those that don't know?
Thank you, Corey. Come on.
Or I'd let Duke do it.
He will do a much better job answering your questions and filling in the blanks.
You'll take less time than I will. Members of the Park Board, my name is Corey Murphy with the Economic Development Corporation. Ready is a state program. There's been 2 rounds of Ready. I am talking about Ready 2 here. Henry County, the geography of Henry County, was awarded $4 million in Ready 2 funds. And at the end of 23 into 24, calendar year 23, 24, there was a broad, wide publicized call for projects by our region. And so it's state money that flows to a region, and then the region administers the grant money down to the local projects. And so the geography of Henry County, and the reason why I'm saying the geography of Henry County, because there's more than Henry County government. The geography of Henry County participates in the East Central Indiana region. Other counties in that region are Blackford, Delaware, Fayette, Grant, Jay, Randolph, and Wayne. Each county has 2 representatives on a regional steering committee. I'm one of the representatives, and then Jennifer Fox from the Community Foundation is the other representative. So we went through a process that I'm going to spare you of the details of. Happy to answer questions, but the call for projects region-wide was at the end of 23. It went into the 24. The local community got together, representatives from county government, city government, town government, hospital, and the foundation, and scored Henry County's projects. And then that went to the region, and then region-wide we scored. And then if you've ever watched the historic movie from the 1950s, 12 Angry Men, that's the title of the movie. I'm sorry to the women. I mean nothing by that, but there was a title of the movie. So then the regional steering committee got together, and we had basically jury duty in terms of deliberation. And there was a negotiation, there was a give and take, and out of 2 sessions from the regional steering group, using the scoring as a guideline, but not as an absolute, projects were selected. Out of that process, we've got 2 projects valued at $4 million. One of those projects that was selected was $500,000 for water and sewer in Memorial Park. It was funded from the 4-H Center application to this Ready 2 process. And so in October of 24, I met with the county council And I asked them to make available food and beverage funding as part of the local match for these projects. And they did so. And so they supported $1.6 million of food and beverage towards water and sewer infrastructure to match the 500,000. The reason why we're here now asking for a letter of support is because if you've ever watched the movie Jumanji, there's 3 levels. Okay, so the region is the first level. This project was selected. And then there feels like there's 40 levels within. So we're in the final steps of approval on this process. The region supported it. We've made it through a couple compliance reviews. We're receiving some questions from the state. I am not, and I'm going to say this twice, I am not interpreting those questions as negative. They want more information. And so working with our friends at the region, we have decided the way to answer those questions is to get a couple of letters of support. And so Tom asked me to be here because he was made aware of the request from the 4-H board, Expo board to this board for a letter of support. And so that is the Cliff Notes version of the project and why there is a request for you to write a letter of support. Now let me give you a little bit more history. So the county council took action. Then I went to the county commissioners and I asked the county commissioners to enter into a professional services agreement with United Consulting. United Consulting is an engineering firm that they work statewide, Midwest, but United Consulting has worked on behalf of the city of Newcastle Utilities for decades. And since this is a water and sewer project utilizing the city system, I wanted to hire the engineering firm. Ooh, that's fun.
Yeah.
And so the commissioners approved that. We have not spent any money on that contract because I want to wait until we get final approval. So I've committed publicly to the commissioners and the council, and now I'll do it with you as well. The first step in that design process is for United Consulting to do surveying, like land surveying on where the pipes are going to go. We only want to pay for that one time, right? So once I get approval, or I feel really, really confident, and I'm pretty well there, I'm going to invite Mr. McCall, representing this body, a commissioner, somebody from the Expo, somebody from City Utilities, and then the engineer, and we're going to have a meeting, and we're going to figure out where the pipes should go. Because I don't want to tell the engineer to go survey, and then there's a disagreement amongst the parties on where the pipe should go. I only want to pay for that once. And that's local money paying for that. That's actually food and beverage money paying for that. My role in this, I don't care where the pipes go. I don't. I want the most benefit to all of the park, but it has to serve the 4-H center. So it can serve, both sides of the county road. It does not matter to me. The 500,000 was specifically funded by the 4-H center application. The county council was gracious enough to put in 1.6. And we got, so 1.6 plus 500,000 is 2.1. We got that number from 2 different engineering analysis. One done by the park board and one completed by the Expo. And they were pretty close. And so that's how we came up with that number. Water and sewer improvements. So I'll pause. And be happy to answer any questions.
Curious, are you getting a letter from the Stables as well? Rebecca Baker, I didn't know whether or not that would be advantageous as well as obviously a prominent and extremely busy, entity on that side of the road as well.
I have left up who the letters come from. I've left that up to the Expo board.
I think I can pass that word to Brianna. I think it's a little more. They're a separate organization. Go and get that. It's just mine.
Okay. I'm just curious.
Great question.
Yeah.
Any questions for me?
Has everybody had an opportunity to glance through this?
Yes,
You have a question. So maybe you don't know yet because you said that we're figuring out where the piping is going and stuff like that. Would you guys be tied into our lift stations?
I'm sure we would.
Okay. Thank you.
I don't know that for a fact, but or doing a new lift station.
That's right. It's just. You have a lot of people like using those lift stations, and then the park foots the bill when something happens to those lift stations, even though ours isn't really the biggest expense. Like we're not using it the most, I guess, but just my 2 cents, I guess, so.
Maybe an opportunity to, from a construction standpoint and a capital improvement standpoint, to alleviate some of that. It also may be an opportunity to have a discussion about that, separate from the construction project.
So I would make a motion that we support the letter. I would also volunteer to work with Brianna and Duke to wordsmith it to make sure that we get the maximum benefit, maximum support through this process with the language in the letter.
Motion for Duke. We have a second.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded to flesh out the letter to IEDC. And give it to Duke. We're gonna give it to you or sending it to you?
Brianna will send it to me when it's done.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Nobody opposed, motion passes. We'll get that to you, Duke.
Thank you.
Thank you all very much for that. And thank you, Corey, because he fills in the blanks much better than I do. And a few other items, and thanks to the board for that, and we'll coordinate, Terry, any wordsmithing to it this week. Couple other updates. We are working through Mr. Ward back here on electrical and HVAC, and he's been in there cleaning floors, and so we're making progress. We have reapplied officially through Tina Henderson for the Okra grant. That'll be finalized and submitted in December, and then we will be on pins and needles again till January. There will be a public meeting in December. We'll get the date, and it'll probably be in the Smith Building. And we will want as much supporters as we can get there. It'll be an hour-long type meeting.
Get with me quick.
I'm sorry?
Get with me quick. Those days are
Yes,
filling.
yes, because last time it was a little late.
Yes,
Thanks
so
for
there-
coordinating that. Thanks for that. I'll make a
Yes,
note there.
If you call me within, I'll be in there tomorrow. You can call me at any time tomorrow. I will be there. Or anytime this week, basically.
I will get that word to Brianna, and her or I, one of the two will.
Okay, perfect.
And then the last item, and this is just fantastic news that we've been able to start an endowed designated fund for the Expo 4-H Center. at the local community foundation, Henry County Community Foundation. It's been funded by our board members for $5,500, and hopefully we'll continue to add to that. But I think that shows a long-term commitment by our board and hopefully our community to the project. Any other questions, concerns? Thank you all.
Thank you, Duke. Don't see anybody to have anything to say about the invasive species, Veterans Museum, anybody wearing that hat? Are you gonna,
What species?
invasive species?
The ribs. I
Yep.
have something.
Oh, okay.
Okay. The last time I talked to Helen, she brought up planting some wildflowers along the lake. And it will be there where some of the sod is. So I didn't know if we need to vote on that. I mean, the sod will be taken up and we've already paid for the sod and having it put down. I don't know if you guys all want her to plant, or it would be nice to let her know before she buys the seeds.
Discussion, yay, nay, some sort of presentation that
you
she
know where the
might
bridge
want to
is.
plant.
It'd be on the east side. Yeah, that little strip right in there between the path and the bridge, probably.
The whole length, just in sections, do we have an idea? Because if you plant in there, you're going to cut down access to the water by anybody on the shore.
And
wanna
I didn't
fish.
know where if we get a dock one day to put
Yeah.
in there, if it's going to go in that strip there or not.
It will probably go towards the far end, but if we do canoe, kayak launching, that'll be in the part to the west of the bridge. So we don't want to put it
Oh.
down in through there.
So you want me to tell her to hold off on it?
I think we should, and for a while, until we see exactly if we can develop a longer range plan, or I wouldn't have any objection to some sections maybe being planted in native grasses or wildflowers or something. But maybe if she had some kind of a plan, and maybe Cade can develop a plan.
I was just about to say, I'd be more than happy if you wanted to tell her to work with a plan on her and then bring it before the board, if like a more put together plan, especially like the sections. I think that would be a good idea.
Okay,
So.
I'll get with her and talk to her about that. And tell her to get with Cade.
Question?
Sure, go ahead.
So
Jim Ward, and I'm not a part of anything. So on that plan that you're requesting, can they take a screenshot from GPS of the lake or wherever in the park and mark on there and identify where they're wanting to put those plant those invasive non-invasive species?
Yeah, I think that'd be a good idea we don't want to take up the whole area in through there,
It'd be nice to see if it were.
but see what it's going to look like and what kind of plants she might want to put in there.
That way there's no kind of unclarity to it.
And remember, there's a lighting project going on, so if we put plants in there and that's decide where we're gonna put the light poles, she won't be very happy if we dig up a spot to put the lights in. And the location of the lights is dependent on the light pattern that the engineer is working on right now, so. Now, I think having the plantings under the lights and around the light pole bases would be nice.
And the bridge, where that bridge is going to be located once we have the draft of that. So no matter what the footprint's going to look like, there's going to be something there. So that would help identify how that would be planted around potentially that bridge area.
Yeah, I think there's enough development still around the pond to go that maybe be a little premature to be planning anything right now.
Okay. I'll get with her about all that.
Does anybody have anything to say about the Veterans Museum? I figured it might be you. Well, Jim might have something to say.
Steve Peckinpah, representing the Veterans Museum. I have a question for the board. We are in the process of developing a challenge coin. I know the Colonel knows what a challenge coin is. I don't know who else does or doesn't. But it's a coin that represents a person or an organization that are given to other people for meritorious service, recognition, those kinds of things. Originated in the military, as far as I know, and we are planning on developing our own. We have tossed around using a picture of the big cannon on the hill on one side of the coin. But we probably, where we felt like, I did anyway, that we should ask you folks if there's a problem. Now, ultimately, the cannon belongs to the U.S. government, but you are the caretakers of it and have control of it. So is there a problem with us using a picture of it on our coin as a representation of the fact that the museum is in Memorial Park and that cannon is next to the Doughboy probably, or maybe equal, something that people recognize as part of the park?
That's a relatively unique cannon. There's not a lot of them around.
3 in the world.
Yep. I could be glad to reach out to the gentleman that I discussed those material items with in Detroit, see if there's a problem. I doubt if he would have a problem. I don't think anybody on the board would matter.
It's, 100 and some odd years old and doesn't belong to.
I don't
the
think it's
Germans anymore,
copyrighted.
so, it hasn't for a long
Yeah.
time. So, but again, I just wanted to be sure we weren't not creating some kind of
If I could
problem.
make a comment, we have these like patches up there. I'm pretty sure they're pretty far back in date, I think, but I think they look really cool and would represent the park pretty well as well. If you needed like another side of it or anything like that for the challenge coin, I could give you one of them as well.
We're going to use the emblem for the museum.
Cool.
The
I just
eagle
wanted to
emblem
recommend
on the
some.
one side, and then on the other, we're looking at using the cannon and maybe putting some dates, or the date maybe we recognize as the opening date, the initial date that we dedicated the museum,
Awesome.
something like that. But I didn't want to get $600 die made up and somebody say, well, wait a minute.
Yeah, I can't think of anything that would preclude us from being able to, or preclude you guys from being able to do that. I know when I made mine up out there at the squadron in Colorado, I didn't ask for permission to use any of the satellites I put on my coin with my name on it.
Yeah, but you knew which ones were classified and which ones weren't.
Which ones I was allowed to use, that's
Yes.
for sure. Yeah. I don't think we have any classification concerns with the cannon on the hill,
No, that
but,
one's,
yeah, no, that's awesome. That'd be neat.
then I'll take that as a yes from the board and convey that on
I
to,
think so. I'll send a letter to Detroit and get their blessing. I'll let you know.
they send those form letters out about every other year, I think, but I don't know that they even know where Newcastle is.
Oh, yeah, they do now because they went to a computer. So I get something from them all the time. just got one like 2 weeks ago needing new pictures and some more data. So they're really moving up into the 20th century.
Oh, good. That's comforting. While I'm here, I have a question also from the Friends.
Okay, I was gonna ask you if you're gonna do Friends tonight too.
The Friends is very interested in helping with the memorials. I don't think that's a secret. I don't think. But one of the things we continually seem to run into is how good is good? What is going to be the standard of perfection? I'll use that word. I know perfect is not something you see in the park, but for the memorials, I think we need to try to approach that as much as we can. And how do we get to a place where we're not spending a lot of time manicuring those memorials? Because that takes a lot of money when you're paying guys $20+ an hour. When you get it free, that's fine, but when you don't, it's not. And there's no guarantee that there's going to be free labor available forever. And there are things that we can probably do to make the memorials less work intensive. But it'll take an investment to do that. But if that's, again, around and Kate, I'm not pointing at you when I say this, okay? I know where this came from. This was left over before you ever came, out of sight, out of mind. But 5-foot-tall foxtail at the Big Four Memorial is not acceptable. No way, shape, or form. Cannot be. Cannot be. So, no matter who might be in charge of the park, when, where, how much, or on the board or whatever, there needs to be, this is what the expectation is, and this is how to accomplish that expectation. And the Friends would look forward to working with whoever to help develop that. Right now, there's a couple of flagpoles that need to be replaced. There's a crack that's developed in the GWAT Memorial, and I'm not talking about a small one. I'm talking about a wide one all the way across it, which, as a aside on that, I will be going to buy bricks at Miller Worley. May I inquire of them about that crack? Is that a problem for anybody? They were the ones that installed it, and I thought I would go and say, hey, guys, we have a problem. What can we do, including them? Because it's not that old. It shouldn't be gapping out a crack like that. It shouldn't be. Okay. So I'll try to remember to ask them when I go up there to get bricks, but the big memorial, we know it's hard to keep it cleaned up, and the floor needs work, and that can all be solved probably with money. Well, we know it can with money, but with a design that keeps the park from having to invest time. That to me, for all the memorials, should be the goal. How do we best create memorials that reduce time someone has to spend on them?
Wasn't there a memorial committee at one point?
There have been memorial committees since 2018, off and on, over and around and through. Most of the time, it never accomplished much because there was friction on the committee.
Any board members have any idea about a committee and a relatively frictionless one?
Like
Mr. Steve and I are on the committee. I didn't, I never got it off because of my husband being so sick there for a while.
You're dealing with two members of the committee, the only two apparently, that both have spousal health issues, not to mention their own age. So it's not an ideal group for a committee ongoing. Now, you know, I'm not wishing you anything bad at all, Rita.
I
That's
know.
not what I'm saying.
When you're saying that you both are on is this the media, or I'm sorry, the monument committee that you're leading?
Yeah, that's when
Because I know I gave you one name of a veteran here in town.
I kept trying to call him
Okay,
and I never did get a,
okay. I can reach out
Answer.
to him because he said he would be happy to do it. Maybe it was just a matter of, I don't know who this crazy lady is that's calling. harassing
yeah,
me
it might
about being
be.
on. But I can reach out to him, and I've got other guys in the area that I think would be more than happy, veterans, that would be a part of that. And so,
I would caution about having all veterans on.
oh, for sure, absolutely. These just
we
happen to
need-
be veterans.
We need a
Community
healthy
members.
mix of
Yeah,
ideas,
I agree.
because nobody, and, you know, veterans get together, they can all start going down the same path pretty easy.
Yeah.
It just,
We've been taught to row that direction.
exactly,
Yeah,
that's the thing, so, you know,
for sure.
it's better if there's a mix.
Yeah, but I do have at least the one individual that said that he would be happy to be a part of that. So,
How about having him call me or something?
absolutely. Yeah, I can do that. But we can definitely facilitate the committee to be engaging and get after that.
The Friends are wanting to be an integral part of keeping the park going and helping. That's all I have. If anybody got any questions for me, well, feel free.
How are you guys doing on membership? I know we talked about an opportunity when
Friends?
yeah,
We're not doing
Not growing.
that well on membership. We had a bunch of members at one time, but again, age and
sure.
other distractions, they melted away for whatever reason. But yeah, we can use more help than we have.
When's your guys' next meeting?
I mean, you're gonna embarrass me by.
Can you
asking
text me?
that. Let's see, the
Oh.
Friends meets on the first Saturday of the month, which would be this coming Saturday.
Yes, and I know it's at 11 o'clock, Friends.
At the museum.
11 a.m.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Kate.
Mr. Peckinpah, before you sit down, would you mind if I came to that meeting Saturday at 11?
We would love to have you come to that meeting.
I think what I want to do is talk to you guys about, especially, I know that's less of the friends and more the veterans portion of the park, but just what is the standard that we need to get to? As in, like, what can we do specifically with my crew to get it up? Because, you know, money's always going to be a
Exactly.
problem, but we can at least try to do what we can. So I just would like to
You're
talk
never
more
gonna
about
have
that.
Enough head count.
Yep.
Okay, that's a fact. So
Mhm.
how do we supplement your head count?
Yeah.
By either cutting your labor needs or actually doing work so
Mhm.
you don't have to. That's, to me, is where the Friends, museum, whoever,
Mhm.
can best support. But we need to know, everybody, when going in, this is where we want to be.
Mhm.
When it's all said and done.
Levi, I know you go out to the park quite a bit. I know you go out to the park quite a bit. I think one thing that Friends of the Park, every organization that volunteers out there needs is some new, younger blood. Some of us are getting older, no one in this room, but Yeah, yeah, well, young guys. Do you think you can reach out to people in your age group and try to get them more involved in the park?
Probably so.
And maybe along with Cade, he can maybe we can have some events that show some interest to a younger group and get them more involved. That will spill over into friends and veterans and all of the organizations that help out there. You have to find people somewhere.
At least when it comes to Friends of the Park, I think I could probably find a couple. So I'll do some reaching out.
Even media wise, there's things that we could do more to reach out to the community.
Mr. Ward?
Piggybacking off of what Kate said. So I'm sure you have a map of locations of all the monuments in the park, correct?
No.
I need to bring up something. I should have brought it up in the superintendent's report. I completely forgot it. I printed off a ton for this meeting and I forgot them. We have a brand new map that has all the monuments, all the labels of everything. When you brought up like the aerial view, like I was like, oh, we have a perfect map for that now because we can mark off everything that we need to.
Yeah,
It looks great. I'll bring it to the next meeting too, and I'll just send you one personally as well. But I will send it to everybody on the board as well. So
Well, it sounds like the answer is yes, there is a map that shows the location of every monument there is out there. And so with every monument, I would think that each one would be reviewed on that map. And then there would be a preventative maintenance. What does that monument need? Because each monument, depending upon age and condition and location, may need something different. But there should be something small wrote up of what each one needs immediately and ongoing preventative maintenance. And that way, then they could be prioritized that this monument has a crack in it, or this one just needs washed. But then you're able to develop a plan and a scope of what to do. So that way, when you do get these young people and these other people or volunteers or people who want to donate, they know what they're donating to. Because right now we've got problems at the monuments. They need to be cleaned and they need to be maintenance, but it needs to be more specific. And I don't know if it'd take a lot to do that or not, but just to walk around each one, do a 5-minute review and go on to the next. And that way you've got a basis to start from. It's my 2 cents worth.
Yeah, we have been working on that. Cade and I have spent a lot of time going through there, looking at what was there and working on a plan to.
Have you made a list out?
I think my issue is, and that's why I kind of wanted to work with the Veterans Museum and also the Friends of the Park, is I have an understanding of memorials, right? But I don't know exactly where they need to be. You know, I can understand when something might need cleaned or there might be weeds that are popping up and things along that line. I just need a baseline of where people who are visiting the park would expect it to be at.
Well, I just talked to Liz
Mhm.
before the meeting here.
Yeah.
And I told her that her and I needed to go around and take pictures of them. And then we need to make a list.
So in doing the map, when you're using the GIS program to make the map, you have to take a picture. Well, you don't have to take a picture, but I did. I took pictures and then also put a small description of each of the monuments. So I took a couple pictures on some of them, and we could utilize those pictures already. I already have pictures of all the monuments.
Did you get pictures all the way around?
Mhm.
Okay,
Yeah, and then
so I don't need to do that.
no,
Okay.
I got it. You should have seen me. I was running around the whole park, like literally. So, but no, I think that'd be a smart idea. Thank you for the comment, Jim.
Do you think there's anything on maybe National Park Service or something like that as to guidelines, recommendations for maintaining national or local monuments?
Yeah, go ahead.
If you have something to contribute, that'd be great. That's one thing the government likes doing is writing documents. It's hard to imagine there's not something there.
It's tough for me because every one of those monuments is significant to a particular war, okay? But to me, okay, I'm gonna say this for me, the Big Four Memorial should be like the Vietnam Veterans Memorial in DC, okay? Or any other memorial that has the names of fallen soldiers, sailors, Marines, air personnel. It has to be by nature pristine. I mean pristine. Now, after that, why would you want to spend money to erect something to recognize those folks that served in a particular conflict and not keep it in a very high state? I'm not saying as good as, because if people, the only thing we have from for Vietnam in the park is the names on that monument and what's in the museum, but
Yeah.
the park itself, okay? Korea's not much better. It happens to be that APC is a Korean War vintage APC. Other than that, they'd be in the same boat as Vietnam. So, but does that mean parking the APC out in the middle of the field and letting it rust away is okay? No, because that's what happened with the small cannon, out of sight, out of mind. And I'm not throwing rocks at anybody on that.
I just thought, when you came up previously, we talked about whether or not there was a written standard, what standard do we?
We do not. That's
strive to achieve, and I
Yeah.
thought maybe there might be some written guidance as to how
There is no
organization or-
SOP ever been written on what the expectations are for the state
Yeah,
and
sure. Yeah, okay.
I will talk to someone in Tennessee and see what they do down there to take care of their memorials. I don't know anybody here, but I do know people down there. And see if they have anything written for it.
Okay, what do they do in cemeteries, depending on the cemetery?
The cemeteries I've been around, they let the family take care of
Right.
yeah.
Okay, so that could mean that an older cemetery where the family's all gone gets neglected.
Oh, no.
Gets neglected. I'm not saying it gets totally neglected, but gets neglected in
Well.
some cases.
Yes,
And then you have one like South Mound East and West, who gets, because there are so many families still in the area and the city
Yeah.
does a good job of trying to keep it pretty pristine, well, you have a very nice cemetery. But I really believe that the Big Four Memorial has to be the one.
well, and it probably gets more visitors than any of the others anyway. No.
No.
They don't,
I don't think it does.
since it was out in where you can see it.
I think the walk back there
Oh,
is
okay.
discouraged. Unless somebody's walking that trail, I don't think a whole lot of people walk back there anymore. I really don't.
I'd
That
say,
doesn't mean that it needs to look
Yeah,
like, oh, nobody's seeing it, nobody's
Unfortunately,
coming.
probably most people in the county don't know what is
Big-
on the monument. Yeah. Even to say the Big Four, they probably
Yeah,
don't know what
well,
that
that,
means.
that's our shortcut version
is.
because everybody knows what
Yeah.
that is, but,
For sure.
there's 250 names on there,
Yeah.
something like that. Okay, 4 wars,
Yeah,
so.
I was
Thanks.
gonna,
appreciate it.
Terry. Correct. There is, I just looked online real quick here, there is the Indiana Pioneer Cemetery Restoration Project. It says that they modeled
parks and places model that after Indiana model after that. That organization or that. It's called Indiana Pioneer Cemetery Restoration Project. So you might open them and you are contacting them, that might help you with some guidelines on how to take care of it, maybe stays compliant.
Or we can have one memorial, the mall, Indianapolis. You got, we got a lot of things we can compare to.
Even just using those examples to help have a starting point, that'd be good.
Wednesday.
That monument downtown. Do you know what? Yeah, one downtown in Indy.
Just like you guys.
Well, but how do you get in contact with them?
Their website.
Okay. Okay.
If you just Google Indiana War Memorial.
Yeah.
we can find the number.
Okay.
I foresee a busy year for the Memorial Monument Committee.
The winter, get things ready for spring.
Good, good.
Ms. Plummer, you don't have anything to say? Old business? I don't have anything old, do we? Anybody? New business? Christmas in the park is the next thing,
Yes,
and that is what day?
December 13th.
And you're going to be an elf?
Yeah, I am the park elf.
Can I make a suggestion? Our media guy over here and him, our superintendent, every event that we have, we need to start advertising it at least 2 months in the paper and online and put posters up and
Yeah, that was something that not only the Fall Fest, but I think we could have done better with the Bark in the Park.
Mhm.
Do I think that there's some events I would change or maybe not do next time, but either way, that's a takeaway that we could have taken away from that event is that we need to do better at advertising in the future. So I'm gonna do better at that in the future as well. So
Okay.
Give it to me. Give it to me. Yes, because I had been doing the advertising. I couldn't advertise a event that was held on the day of my dad's funeral. That's why it was canceled originally. So, and then when we went to reschedule it, there were no Saturdays available. There was only a Friday. So it kind of got lost in the melee. So I take full blame for that one. So,
There were a number of events this year that were scheduled earlier in the year that were actually scheduled towards the end of last year for this year that conflicted with a lot of other events in town. There was no coordination on the events, and some of those events had been long established events. So we need to take a better look, and Cade and Liz both know that they're going to take a closer look at what dates we're going to put those events on and try to plan ahead and talk with the city. That was where most of our conflict was with big city events.
school events as well, stuff like that.
With regards to old business, obviously we have lots of old business that is still in the works. Disc golf, to be one. Do we have a means, are we tracking all those activities that are in the pipeline but not finish, you know, they're just, we're tracking them some way, shape or form.
Yes. Yeah. I talked with the head of that club. I think it's a club. Chris, pretty recently. And we're going to do a walk through the park, just make sure that the area that they do have marked off is good. It doesn't look like there's anything wrong with the area. Plus it's disc golf, so it's not like it's hard to or easy to damage anything with that. So it's mostly just blank trail areas. It's not really next to the memorials or anything. So now he's just waiting to see if he is getting the grant or not, which I'm pretty sure he will. But yeah.
Yeah, just keeping those things on our radar. I mean, we've talked about the bridge tonight. I know there's the Sanders Shelter that's still out there as an old business. There's lots of things out there. You know, to show that we have no old business is not accurate, but yet we don't need to talk about them at every board meeting, just when we have updates. I was just hoping that as a organization, we are keeping a running tally of all those ongoing efforts.
If we don't keep those on the list, though, we're gonna let it
They get
drop.
Forgotten. Yeah, so.
We'll put more of those on the list in the future and just be like, any updates for this, any updates for this, any updates for this, and just say, no, no, no.
We can move
yes.
through them pretty quick.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Mhm.
Speaking of which, are there any updates on the lighting project that we discussed earlier? I know Sheldon was, we were talking about partnering on helping with the fundraising side of that, but I didn't know where that had gone.
Last I knew,
About it with shelter too.
yeah, the last I knew, which was 3 or 4 weeks ago, that he met with the engineer and they were doing a rough layout, looking at light throw and how many lights they would actually need for the lights they thought they would use. Once they got that together, they would have a better number as to what it was going to cost to do the installation.
Target number.
So they were still waiting for that.
Yeah, I haven't heard from Sheldon in the last couple of weeks. I did, however, talk to Tony Roach today. He had his surgery yesterday. And he's getting along fine. But he and I did talk about Sheldon. So Sheldon has had some doctor's appointments recently. That's why
Yeah.
I heard from him. Yeah, Tony had his knee replaced yesterday. And so he's home, so he's doing fairly well. Debbie was the one that answered the phone, said he was hobbling around. But he's at home doing well.
I did want to update real quick as well. We had somebody on our team for our grounds crew, Jim. Oh, I'm forgetting the last name for some
Ranger Jim.
Ranger Jim. Anyways, he had cancer and he Jim Hale, yes. I'm bad with names when I'm up here, but he had cancer and he had surgery and it wasn't going extremely great for a little bit, but he's made, from what I can tell, at least a full recovery and he's doing really good now. So I just wanted to share that bit of news.
Something we didn't talk about, but you may know how the vending machine operation's going.
I haven't heard anything as of late. I don't know if you guys have anything.
I saw him sitting in his car in front of the vending machine itself, but I've not spoken to him since the day he showed up in his pajamas to pick up the part that was shipped to the park. So, but he was here the other day, so I don't know if he was checking it out, if he was doing maintenance. I have no idea because he didn't speak to me, but he was inside his car.
Have we received any money from them?
No, but then again, I've been off here and there, so.
It's been a few weeks, but I did talk with him on that. He was asking how we want that money given to us, best way for that. So communicated with both Liz and Kate, I believe, a little bit on that. And I think the plan was for when he comes to restock for him to bring money then, but yeah, I don't know if we figured
When's
if that
that
was
gonna
the
be?
best way or not.
Because all I've seen is him in his car and then him in his pajamas. So,
Well, you
Sounds
probably
like
need
it's
to
tracking.
coordinate that, then if it's going to bring a check, then it would go uptown.
Did you discuss that? And he said he would be writing a check and things like that as well.
I'm not sure how he's making it out, but
Okay, okay.
I've heard, yeah, just when he comes to restock. But it sounds like it was doing really well there at the beginning, some events that were going on or something that he had to go out and fill it out twice in 1 week, but
Okay.
Sounds good.
Well, we should
Mhm.
probably have an accounting of that on a monthly basis. Either we're getting something that's doing well or not doing well.
It should probably coincide, and I can talk to him about this. It probably should coincide when I do the collections report,
It should
as
be.
it will be on.
Well, I know
on-
at first they had some trouble getting going and the card reader wasn't working, the machine wasn't working and. the
Yeah,
windows weren't
apparently
working.
everything is working.
okay.
So, I've not had it, but then again, I've not talked to Emily to see if anybody has come in on the weekends, but I have not had anyone come in while I've been at work saying that it was messed up or anything.
By the way, we used the shelter house last weekend. I think the shelter committee did a phenomenal job. That's a stellar venue for hosting. Not that anybody in this room had anything to do with the shelter house renovation. But it was very, very popular, at least in the event. I'm sure you guys get positive feedback from.
It looks
All the
very
time.
nice.
Going on.
The only thing that I've heard negative is that they want the lights back up. Like the Christmas lights, everybody wants those lights back up and I'm like, I'm not gonna put any nails in that. I don't. You can ask the park board. That's what I'll tell
That's a
them.
seasonal thing? Is that what you tell them?
Well, it's usually for weddings and stuff that they
Oh.
want the lights up.
It is hard though, walking through it, and we've talked about this several times. You know, when you walk through there and you see tape hanging on, columns and, you see the staples and you go, golly, they have no idea what went into, that renovation. That's
Right.
disappointing.
Right. Oh, and I.
Not a lot of it. I was surprised that there was not more than what I saw, but seeing any of it is just.
I forgot to tell you guys too, we're scheduling the shelter to be shut down November 8th
Okay.
for the winter.
Have we shut it down in the
No, we
past or
haven't
did we
because
just winterize
We're
it?
not having Christmas.
No, we're changing things.
Okay.
Do we shut it down or we just winterize it and advise people if they want to rent it? They have no. running
That
water.
place is extremely cold. Almost got frostbitten at Christmas in the park last year because of it. See, yeah.
I
'cause
couldn't remember if we
yeah,
actually shut off
the water gets shut off and everything.
Yeah, I knew
but-
that.
Yeah, and the biggest thing right now, especially right now when it's getting colder, everybody's asking about the fireplace.
Yeah.
So,
Which is another thing that we gotta figure out what we're gonna do long term.
mhm.
Okay, thank you.
Go ahead, Steve.
I was out at the shelter house, and there's no doubt the shelter house is great. But the furniture on the outside needs to be cleaned once in a while. It really does. Birds, whatever. And if that's not done, again, it's one of those periodic maintenance kinds of things to keep all that nice furniture looking nice.
What are you gonna say?
I said like the chairs and stuff, I think they're gonna put them inside the shelter in the wintertime.
But
I don't think
But-
they're gonna take he's talking about the heavy benches. the
No,
kinds
I
of-
know what he's talking about and that will be cleaned, but I'm just talking about like the smaller chairs if they can be moved inside.
Cause currently they're all screwed down to.
Yeah, they're all mounted to the deck.
floor.
They're all mounted.
you were talking about like.
They can just be-
Mounted them all?
They just need to be washed.
But is it on a PM schedule to, go out there and, every couple of weeks to wash them down or anything?
It will be now.
Okay. Cause I did see there's the one on the south side at one point in time, there was a lot of bird stuff on it, that particular bench, unfortunately.
It was from last winter, so it went several months, but now
Okay.
that there's a new program in place up here, I would say that if somebody went out there even every quarter and wipes them down, or it could be every other month. I don't know that they have to be cleaned so often, but just wipe down maybe once every month or two.
I know Cade's been
That's not-
working,
Like it's gonna take a
Well,
lot of time
yeah.
to do it. It's
I
just,
think the outside needs to be swept and stuff too occasionally.
yeah, Cade's, I know he's been going through, working on developing. There's never been a maintenance schedule for anything out there, and he's been going through. We've been looking at stuff and trying to figure out how often does this need to be done? What needs to be done? How does it need to be done? And looking at maybe assigning people, this is your task, this is your baby, you take care of that, you take care of this one, you take care of that one. And so that we know who's responsible for it and we know it gets done.
And when you get that fixed, put up, make a folder. So if you decide to leave, whoever comes next will have. No, don't throw it away.
And you don't
Please.
keep it either. So
You don't have anything.
you give it to me, I make multiple copies and then everybody gets one.
Okay.
Does anybody have anything else?
make a motion to adjourn.